Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, come to you from the green hills of Tennessee, the home of Alvin York. Yes, James Yeager and Jeff Quinn, too. Let's not forget them. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm here. Technology challenged here off and on. I couldn't get my little speaker to pair, so I was just playing off my phone right here. I tell you, I'm about to give up on technology. I live in a log house. I think I'm gonna go live in a real log house with nothing, no electricity or anything here one of these days. Technology is wonderful, but boy, it can create headaches. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You know, phones where everything seems to be working. This pairing business, there are so many things that, you know, we're pairing with now, right? Whether it's your car radio, headphones, this little speaker, just dozens of things, and everything is Bluetooth ready. So, you know, if you go to your phone and click on the settings, Bluetooth and everything, and see what's available, what you might. I mean, I've got a list of things. I'm like, what is that? And what was that? You know, I don't know. It's finding stuff, you know, that I don't even want to pair with, maybe, but it's finding it. And anyway, I have kind of a headphones, neck phone, kind of like these, you know, that I'll, you know, have and plug in every now and then, listen to a podcast or whatever, and not bother other people or whatever. And I've been using those for years. I just kind of live with them, and I forget I have them on because I'm so used to wearing these too, and they're just like this. And I don't know what's going on. Well, I lost a pair, set of them this past weekend somewhere. Must have fallen out of the car. I don't know. I've had them for 2-3 years, and replaced them. And the new ones, LG. They're just the newer grade of those, I guess. And got them paired up. They're working, and then they quit. Got unpaired or something, or some interference from something else. And I have tried everything the last couple of days. They're working, they're charged, and they worked. It just can't pair with them. You know, I mean, I'm about to give up. I really, really am. But anyway, it's just crazy, the things that we spend our time on. It's so nice when it works, you know, and I do spend a fair amount of time complimenting the electronics of today, just like the car I just bought. That, I mean, this thing is a rocket ship. Computers, I mean, it's just unbelievable, and it all works. You got to figure some of it out, you know, and all that. But the settings, but it's not too problematic. But I don't know. It's just frustrating with something where you don't have no clue what it is. You've tried everything. Everything seems to be functioning. And I'm sure you all have gone through the same thing with something these days. It seems like there's some interference, and just shut everything off. I deleted all my pairings on my phone, just start over. No dice. I've Googled around, and so anyway, I missed the days when I could just plug in. You know, I think this was the first phone I've had. I got out my earbuds that I use on my laptop, or just like that, and I was going to plug them in. So wait a minute, there's no place to plug in or whatever. You know, you got to use Bluetooth, and there was a different plug. There's a little slot there. That's not, I don't think, for plugging earphones in. It's a tiny. So anyway, you got to go with the Bluetooth and get things paired up and all that sort of thing. So let's quit griping about it. What do I have out here? Well, you might have seen the short posted, and the Instagram reel as well, with this firearm shooting the gong, when I found out it was National Day of the Gong, you know, this week. And so I just had to do something to celebrate that. You know, who knew there was such a thing? That was not a joke. You know, that's real. There is a National Day of the Gong. Look it up. Yeah, I didn't know that, but I thought, well, let's get something out kind of fun to shoot at the gong, and I did that little short. And then, since it was dirty and I hadn't shot it much, well, let's just not clean it, and until the Sunday video, I'll shoot it some more. It's a beautiful gun, this 45 Colt. It's the Marlin, Cowboy Limited in 45 Colt. You've seen videos on these. I've got it in 44 mag. I have it in 357, 22. Just wonderful, just wonderful. Hard to miss with it, and pleasant to shoot. Quality firearm. Got this one in 97, 98, and got some character scratches and scuffs on it. I don't know if you can see some of those. There's one kind of a gouge there. I don't know if you can see it on the, yeah, a little bit of a gouge, but that's okay. That's from use. I bought it new, and I have used it. It's been to a lot of cowboy matches. I've had it out a lot, and it's pretty good shape considering, huh? 45 Colt, pretty cool. Poor man's 45-70. Not necessarily the 45 Colt, but this firearm in 45 Colt, because it is a Marlin, like some Rugers. They will withstand really, really warm 45 Colt. So that more or less renders them a poor man's 45-70. You know that phrase. If you're young and you've never heard that phrase, and whenever you hear someone say that, well, that's a poor man's Mercedes or a poor man's whatever. It's not really meant literally, is it? Poor man's. I guess you can see where that meaning comes from, though. It means kinda, if you can't quite afford a Mercedes, maybe you can't quite afford a 45-70, although it may be the same price. You can't quite get up to a certain level on whatever it is. It kind of means a second choice, right? It may be a better choice, but it's, I don't know what car it would be, a Volvo or something, a poor man's, someone who can't quite afford a Mercedes. The next best thing is whatever, you name it, right? Of course, now some of these phrases don't work so well, do they? When we say, well, that's not a Mercedes, that's not the Cadillac. Well, there's so many different levels of Mercedes and Cadillacs, and you're likely driving a car right now. It could be more expensive or more deluxe than a Mercedes, or whatever, Cadillac, whatever, because there's all different levels of all these cars now. They're trying to reach, the companies are, a wider variety of drivers or users of whatever their product is, and they do have to be careful. They kind of dilute the brand if they're not careful, don't they? I mean, you think about an extreme example would be if Rolls-Royce, I guess they're still making cars, if they got into that business of making, a $40,000 car. After a while, then Rolls-Royce doesn't really mean as much, does it? Aren't I brilliant? Well, I don't know. And just everybody helps us. Alabama holster, great little concealment Kydex, holsters of various types that really work. They really work. Got one in my pocket right now, and it's, well, I was going to say it's a different one, but it's not. I got my 642 back on me today. I had been carrying a couple other things in their holsters, so they make it cool. I am a cowboy at heart in so many ways, and you've seen the Cowboy or the Colt Peacemaker video this week. You better have. Wow, if I dragged all those things out. And obviously those things need a leather holster, don't they? Beautiful holster. So there's a place for leather holsters. There's a place for Kydex holsters. I'm a perfect example of that. I have some really nice El Paso saddlery, leather holsters, and some San Pedro. They're not in business anymore. And some other leather holsters, Galco, you name it, for firearms that just sort of need to be in a leather holster. But then a lot of firearms don't need leather. They are really better suited for Kydex, perfectly molded to the exact gun, and lighter and thinner and all that kind of thing, depending on how you're carrying it. So and I was going to say, most of the time with a revolver, I like leather, but for my pocket guns, 642, which I had back then, for a pocket revolver or semi-automatic, I just prefer Kydex. Just the click in, pops in there, and then out, and thin and light. It's great. But I don't know. yakking on that for a while, wasn't I? And of course, Ballistol, Talon grips, great support. Well, I've got a couple of guns out here today, and you've seen one of them. The other one has not been fired. Here I go again. Probably something that will give me trouble, you think? And what I have is this. This is the, can you tell? Well, some of you are saying, I don't know, it looks kind of like a P365. What is that thing? Well, that's the thing. These little micro 9s, some of them look similar to others. I won't say they all look alike, but they're similar. Or what is it from Springfield? The Hellcat, yeah, looks like that and everything. But this is the FN Reflex. Just got it in yesterday, yeah. And glad to get it from Buds. Speaking of Buds, on loan. And just as the ones I've fondled at NRA meeting, this one has that same, nice trigger. I like the sights. Yeah, makes us to try it out. And also compare it with the P365. It seems like exactly the same size. More or less. I don't know. I have to weigh it and compare them a little bit. The trigger, though, is unreal. And now when I say that, it may be too unreal. There is a point where you don't want too light a trigger. You don't want necessarily a target trigger on a carry gun. This is a carry gun, but boy, that is really nice, depending on your experience, because it is hammer fired, internal hammer. So, well, why don't we just go shoot it? I think it comes with an 11 round mag, okay, and a 15, I believe, 15 round extended mag. So, like the P365, the grip is little, it's thin, kind of. It feels very similar to the P365. I really haven't had them out together and compared them or anything, but we'll do that and see. So, somebody might be thinking, what's wrong with FN? They're late to the game. Well, you've heard me bash that phrase before, right? Nobody's late to the game. The more, the better, right? All right, let's see if it shoots. All right, it went bang. It went bang twice. Well, we just be ambitious and reach out with it. Like, what the heck? All right. I think it hits it when I hold right in the middle of it. All right, let's put this other mag in while we got it warmed up. Got me warmed up. All right. Okay, it works. Feels good. Very nice trigger. Maybe maybe the best trigger I've ever felt on a micro 9, or on many pistols, period. Wish I could wiggle my nose and have that trigger on every Glock I own. Every firearm I own, maybe. Yeah, whew, nice. Now, some of you who are more highly trained, or you are trainers, you might look at this, feel it, and not want to, and really think, well, I wouldn't recommend that for most people as a carry gun because of that trigger. It's not like a 2-pound, 3-pound trigger or anything, but it is light with a very nice break. Yeah, it really is. It is where most people, a lot of people, want their trigger to be, but it's a light one. Yeah, that's nice. It's nice. Just got a good feel in the break. You just want to keep shooting it, and maybe I'll do that. What do you think? So, Well, shooting. So did you enjoy the 6-hour range video we posted? Was that this past weekend? Been a while. I don't think I've talked to you about it, but most people figured that out. It's just like a fake fire, on your TV screen or something. John wanted to do that, and may do some more like it, but and he was adamant about not doing like 10 minutes and then just putting it in a loop, and actually filming 6 hours of the range, and whatever happens or whatever the weather is, leaf falls, birds come flying through, or deer, as they did. There were some deer over here on the range. If you noticed, I don't know where that was. I learned what was going on in that thing from you all, from seeing comments and timestamps and things. The deer, I think we're what, 5 hours, somewhere in there. Is that the one that was at 5 hours and 16 or 17 minutes? I don't recall, but it was towards the end, I think. A deer, mommy and little doe came creeping into the picture out there beyond the 80-yard gong, and so that was kind of neat. And I think there were some other varmints. I think people mentioned squirrels and things running around, of course, leaves and birds tweeting and leaves falling and whatever. So I don't know, we may do that again sometime, maybe in every season, post one of those. A lot of people were perplexed what that was about. That's just what it was. We didn't put an explanation in there. We figured you'd figure it out maybe. So that was pretty different, wasn't it? But I really enjoyed the range, or the 45 Colt video, the Colt Single Action Army 150th anniversary. That was fun, having all those out. I've been looking forward to doing that for a while, because I knew this was the year, and wanted to get out quite a few of them and just go back through some of the history. That thing ended up pretty long. I know the video did, but it's okay. People are going to watch that one or not, whether it's 3 minutes long or 30 minutes long. But it, yeah, we kind of do what we want to do and let the chips fall. We don't do anything much that's really glitzy, thumbnails or anything, even titles, this kind of thing much. So we get a lot more views if we did, but that's all right. We just do what we do, and that was fun. Was the point, and just shooting the screw I lost. I pinned a comment that on that video that John found that he did this directly after we wrapped up the video. He did that the last time that happened. I had forgotten about it. I should have Loctited that screw. That one is very old, 1874, and I've got some blue Loctite on order. Somebody recommended it would be good for that, and I think it gets in a day or I might go to the hardware store and get it, but there's no rush. I'm not going to shoot that one for a while. I'm not going to shoot it a whole lot either way, but I would like to get it to where that screw doesn't come loose, and it's easy to warm it up and get it out if I need to. And I want to do a really thorough cleaning of it when I get the Loctite in, and then I'll Loctite that. And videos make, if anything's going to make you look dumb, it'll be a video, right? Because that's where the goofy things happen. I am so conscientious about keeping the screws tight on my Marlins. They will loosen, lever guns, any old gun, and my Colts, they will just loosen up a little bit after you've shot them a while. They loosen a little. I've got some good screwdrivers, and I usually go over each one. I just have a screwdriver around. No, they're not. I don't ever discover one ready to come out or anything like that. But if they've got even a quarter of a turn or just a little, I'll just go ahead and snug them up gently, and don't put a lot of elbow grease behind it. Just snug them up a little bit, and go on. They just have a habit of vibrating loose, at times. Not a big deal. Now some of them don't, loosened much at all. I think the newer ones maybe. And of course the newer one, third generation guns, maybe even the second ones when they were new, they would have a little, usually a little blue, was it a gasket or something to help them stay tight, you know. Of course, after you take them in and out for a few times, maybe you lose it or it doesn't work. But that's just part of having a firearm like that. You don't, shoot a ton. I did that before and after cowboy matches. I checked the screws. So I checked the screws. I don't want to lose one. And I thought I checked that one. That might have been one I did not, because I know when I had all those guns out on the table, I thought I had everything. I was, oh man, I don't have the 1874, and there was another one I thought I had that I didn't have. So I might have done all my screw checking before I got those out there. I don't know. And that one may have a little of an issue of just wanting to come loose more easily. Because that happened once before, and we lost it and had to find it on that specific gun. Yeah. So, I mean, generally that doesn't happen. You see them coming out. That one doesn't have to come out much before it comes out all the way. I think that's what the deal was with that. So I'm not as dumb as I appear sometimes. Just Murphy's always there watching. He's always ready. No doubt about it. Let's shoot this Marlin a little bit. I've got some more bullets in here, I think, that have not been fired. And as always, I have an empty under the hammer when I quit shooting it. Yep, empty case. Makes for a great safety, doesn't it? Let's hit that hog with a big 45 slug. Oh yeah. How about that buffalo over there? Yeah. How about that turkey down in the hole? Oh, always shoot over. Wow. A little lower. Oh, okay, I was holding too low, I think. There we go. Nice. That's been a good one. Been a good one for me. It really has. A favorite. One of my favorite rifles. All right. Oh, man. Pretty cool. So, yeah, speaking of cowboy guns, I was watching The Rifleman, imagine that, this week. And there was somebody that Lucas had to shoot in the hand again, and somebody had shot someone else in the hand near the end of it. I was reminded of what a common convention that is, just like knocking somebody over the head in the Westerns. We talked about that, right? Shooting somebody in the arm. Whenever you have a person you don't want to kill, I mean, that's since day one of the Westerns, I guess, maybe even other movies, but if you want someone to get hurt, but you don't want them to be killed, or you want them to be shot, in the script, and maybe make the viewers think he is hurt badly. Oh no, not Billy Bob, is he killed? Well, no, he goes down. Oh, it just turns out it was in the arm, that kind of shoulder, that kind of thing. So it's interesting, the conventions of the Western. They defy all of the world of medicine, don't they? You all who are maybe nurses, or you work in a hospital, or you're a doctor, or whatever. Isn't it interesting how if you get shot in the shoulder, bullet, 45, whatever, or rifle of any kind, or in the arm, right here in the arm or whatever, a leg, it just, most of the time in the Westerns, it ends up not being a big deal. They might go on, jump on the horse and take off, and they just hold their arm and they're just normal, that kind of thing. Well, I have a feeling you got shot in the arm, hit the bone, or hit the shoulder, or in the hand, you may not have use of that hand again ever like you used to, or whatever. Hand's a complex thing, right? Or even in the arm, or the shoulder up here. Oh man, you can mess up things there. It's never the same. You might not be able to lift your arm for the rest of your life, or whatever. And you might bleed to death. So they act like it's just no big deal, just like getting hit over the head with a gun. It's a great convention to put that character to sleep for a little while. You just need to it could be the hero. In fact, that happened to Lucas McCain this week in that episode or another one. He got hit in the head and he conked out. Okay, comes through, they're rubbing their head, and after whatever's happened that you needed to have happen in your script, in the plot line, then they wake up and, you know, it all works out from there. So those are all things that just make the plot work better, like a cartoon or something, you know. In the real world, though, those are very dangerous, aren't they? Hitting somebody with a head with a pipe, gun barrel, or anything enough to knock them out. You're talking concussion city maybe, right? Or worse, you'd be dead, you know. So that's yeah, kids are kind of misled in that regard, right? But anyway, shooting the hand, I thought, well, two things there. You know, like I say, you get a bullet in the hand, you may never be using that hand again very well, you know. Especially back then, you have the microsurgeons and all that kind of thing. Put things back together, tie them together, sew them up, whatever. But also, you know, what's really amazing is, of course, what Lucas McCain does in the movies. I doubt he could do this in real life, even though he's a good athlete. You know, guy's drawing for his gun very quickly. This person he shot in the hand was known to be a very fast gunman, of course. So he's drawing. Lucas shoots him with his rifle in the hand, just skims his hand a little bit till he drops the gun or whatever. So that is pretty good shooting, isn't it? You're actually moving your hand. Could you shoot something 30, 40 feet away like that? It's that small as it's moving, like at lightning speed, without making it worse than you meant to. Yeah. Well, it's a Western. You know, it's fiction, and you know, someone 6 years old, they might think that oh, it's possible or that's real. You know, but not many people, even the best shooters of all time, could pinpoint that kind of shooting that well. But anyway, it's interesting to watch, and it's fun as long as you know what you're seeing. The willing suspension of disbelief. You just go ahead and enjoy it and take it for what it is, unless you're very naive or gullible and think that's real. Wow. And that's probably, come to think of it, one reason new shooters might get especially frustrated. You know, say the first time you buy a handgun or you go somewhere and shoot a handgun, and you can't hit anything. You know, hitting any of those circles on that target from even this close or something, or you know, something like one of these plates out here, not all that far away, and you think, well, I can surely hit that, you know, and you take up your aim and you can't hit it. You miss 5 times in a row because you're flinching a little bit or whatever. You know, it's probably a surprise to people because they've seen the movies. Shooting looks easy. Yeah, it looks easy, and don't realize how I say difficult, but it just takes some practice to get to the point where hitting those plates is really simple. Okay, but you got to get to that point, you know, and of course the movies make everything look really, really simple, and it's not. And you know, it's just, and on the other side of that, you know, there are people that they watch our videos and other people's videos, gun videos, that shoot a lot and are just overly amazed. They're too impressed, too amazed, you know, that somebody can, you know, plink around, hit those targets because they have shot, you know, a handgun or rifle, and they can't do it. Well, again, once you shoot some and shoot some more, and you practice a little bit and spend some time, a period of whatever, months or years, and well, you pretty, I won't say quickly, but it's not that long before you could take this rifle or even this handgun and plink around here and hit most of what you're shooting at. You know, you do get to that point, right? You do get to that point. Then if you shoot all the time, like I do, it gets even easier. So it's just a weird thing. It's a specific skill. I always say it's like playing ping pong. Really, it is. There's other good analogies, but it is like playing ping pong. I'll load this magazine again while I'm talking at you because I want to shoot this FN some more. Because you know, I tell you where I use this analogy a lot with like police and military. There are a lot of people, and you know, you hate to talk about it. It sounds like you're bragging or something. Oh, I can outshoot a cop, or I can outshoot Navy SEAL. Well, I wouldn't say that, but you get out and shoot someone who has been in the military for a few years or whatever. And it might be, many of you might be able to outshoot the average police officer or the average serviceman, woman, person. Okay? Why? Because the average cop, police officer, doesn't necessarily shoot that much. You know, they qualify a couple times a year, and a lot of them don't have that much training, especially if they're in a rural county where there's not a lot of funds for training, or ammo, that kind of thing. Okay? And if they're not a shooting enthusiast, there's a real divide on most police departments. There's a real divide. You got the average person who maybe is not into firearms that much. It's a tool of the job, the trade, and everything, and they can shoot okay, but they're just an average shot, because the bottom line is, like ping pong, basketball, I don't know, you name some sports and things. If you don't do it, if you've never shot a basketball, or you've taken 15 shots in your life with a basketball from any distance, you've barely ever even dribbled one, tried to dribble it, you've hardly ever played ping pong, maybe one game in your life or two or three, guess what? You're not very good at basketball or ping pong if that's your experience. I guarantee you, you're not very good at it, because there's specific skills, and it's just through repetition, and some training helps a lot, right? But repetition takes care of that, a lot of it too. And shooting is the same way. You know, just because you wear a uniform and you carry a gun all day, it doesn't make you a great shot. You know, it's like ping. I could carry around a ping pong ball and a ping pong paddle all day, and doesn't make me a great ping pong player. Some 10-year-old kid that plays in his basement all the time, well, it doesn't matter how great an athlete I might be, how brilliant I might be, guess what? That kid's going to wear me out. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Okay, we saw that in the USPSA matches back when I was really into that. There were several police officers that came and competed. There was several fellows from the 5th Group, Special Forces up at Fort Campbell, because it was right in our backyard where we did all the competition. And as I said before, those Special Forces guys could maybe kill me before I could blink, right? In many different ways. They're trained to do that. But they would rarely, anybody from that group would win a match. Some of them would place kind of high. But they shoot, and they shoot a fair amount, but most of them were not just shooting thousands of rounds, and trying to take half a second off their draw and their split times, all that kind of stuff that some of us were too obsessed with, So it's really just a matter of experience and shooting. You got to have that time behind the trigger. That's big. It really is. So how'd I get off on all that? Well, let's shoot this dumb thing some more. Okay, speaking of triggers, I do like this trigger. All right. Hope we don't get rained on before I quit. All right. Let me see how the sights are aligned here a little bit more carefully. I'm going to try the buffalo, see where I need to hold. Well, I can't see where I'm hitting. I'm going to move it down a little bit. Okay. Having a hard time hearing. I think I hit it a couple of times. I think when I hold right at its feet. It's not for that anyway, but. All right. 15 round mag. It. Got to really It's easy to pull it left a hair if I'm not careful with that thin grip. Yeah. Great gun though, great trigger. I could wrap some Talon grips around that, get a little more thickness like I have on basically all my P365s and everything else, and I get a little bit less of that. Yeah. Nice gun, nice gun. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. If you like these little micro 9s, you will like this one. Pick it up in a gun shop somewhere and take a look at it, I think. If you've not bought one of these especially, this I would say is one you might want to consider. FN Reflex, kind of cool. Now I may discover, you know, before we do a video or during the video we do with it, something I don't like that I haven't noticed yet, or some other things. I kind of like the fact it's from FN, and it's called the Reflex. Civilized name, whatever that means, right? Pretty neat. Okay, anything else you're dying to know about? Well, I went to Friendship, you know, last weekend, as I said, and I had to leave a little early. I did last Sunday's video a little bit early, so I didn't even mention Father's Day, you know, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers. I do that every now and then. I'm going out of town, so I'll do it on a Tuesday or something, or Wednesday. I forget that the Sunday coming up is some big event, you know, and I don't mention it. But it's not because I'm totally dumb. It's just that it's a few days out, and I forgot about that. Yeah. So I ran into a few of you at Friendship, although not a lot of folks there the second weekend. I just hadn't learned my lesson. I couldn't make it the first weekend, so thought I'd go up second weekend, and just not many people set up there other than the flea markets, and they were about normal. But you know, I have relatives up there, so I visited family. Ran into some of you all around town up there, Boone County, Grant County, that area. Good to see y'all. So that was good. Yeah, seeing people that I hadn't seen in a while. Yeah, it's funny how everybody's getting old. I don't know what it is. I'm still a teenager, but everybody I know is getting old. It's kind of odd. I don't know who all these old people are. I really don't. I got to load this thing up again because I'm going to shoot this rifle a little bit more. Oh, do I have any advice for anybody while I'm loading this up? Probably not. I'll tell you, I got some sensitive subject, sensitive advice. No, we're not going to talk sex ed or anything, but wouldn't that be scary in high school or wherever sex ed is taught if the teacher walked in first day and it was me, somebody like me, some old guy. But anyway, some advice I have, because I've dealt with weight, you know, and I mean, I've never been as big as a barrel, but I've been like 60 pounds overweight, y'all know. And it's something I still deal with because I'm addicted to sweets. I just have to really work at that. I'm not addicted to bread anymore. It's great. Or soft drinks. I've broken a lot of my addictions. But I could eat a pound of chocolate right now, you know, or ice cream. And I try to avoid it, but anyway, I've dealt with that. So, but I just, gosh, I noticed traveling and around, eating in restaurants, different whatever, or wherever I am, that just like, it seems like 90% of people are really obese, and many of them just very obese, which was not the case years back, you know, and it's our diet, of course, more than exercise. Again, read and listen to Dr. Ken Berry if you struggle with this like I have, and then go from there. You know, don't take my recommendations as the gospel, but good place to start, and then you'll run into other people you agree with more, maybe, whatever, on all this. But anyway, the point is, to try to avoid, the thing that happens is that creep, it slowly creeps up on you. You know, you gain a couple of pounds. That's what happened to me. You don't really notice it so much, even if you're weighing, you know, or you get used to being whatever it is, 220. Yeah, well, I'm a little over it, and then you creep up a few more pounds. Well, 225 is not so bad. You know, you creep up, and then you're 230 next year. And before you know it, a few years pass, and you're 50 pounds overweight or whatever it is, and you just get used to it. And so my advice is to catch it in the act, I guess. Nip it in the bud and and deal with it before it even starts to get out of hand. And again, it's really what you eat more so than exercise. That's my experience. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a financial advisor. I have to use all the disclaimers, you know, when I start yakking about everything. But when I start talking about my hands-on experience with things and my experience, you know, I still need to qualify that. You know, I'm not an expert in any way. But other than that, I have learned from experience. Because it's interesting. Before I knew even a tenth of what I know now about nutrition, that kind of thing, I was just always, I think I've told you all this, I was always a little perplexed why the seasons of the year that I was the most active, or when I'd be bicycling the most or out and around the place the most, I really wasn't losing weight. Really, you know, there was no correlation there like there ought to have been very much, just a little bit. And it was changing what I ate, not how much I eat. Yeah, it was getting rid of the soft drink, anything with sugar in it. The soft drinks and bread and grains. I mean, it's just like dramatic. I don't think I can get fat now and I can eat all I want. That's the beauty of it. I'm never hungry. Just go eat it. I can go fry up some eggs if I want to. You know. Eggs and bacon, and get a steak, get a burger. Yeah, I'm the weirdo. Yeah, I get my ask any waitress or waiter. I'm out getting a burger. I get a burger or two, cheeseburger usually on a plate. You know, knife and fork. You know, a couple of veggies maybe, but you know, and I mean it's just made the difference. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off on the specifics of what has helped me, other than it is what we eat. It is what we eat. Way more than how much we eat. You know, we're just eating the wrong stuff. You know, got to get back to that ancestrally appropriate diet that Dr. Ken Berry talks about a lot, and you know, away from the grains and the oats and all that stuff. I thought I was being healthy by eating all that stuff. The wheat, the whole wheat. I thought that was the answer. Yeah, that's why I was 60 pounds overweight and not as healthy. So. Anyway, that's my advice. Try to nip it in the bud and really study diet, okay? Read, look at everybody, okay? And maybe you can make some progress on that, because it's something basically we all struggle with, right? All right, you love that sound? Pow. Good old 45 slamming into a 2-liter or a gong. You just can't miss the gong with this thing. Or a buffalo, maybe. I bet I went low. Yeah, I think I missed it. All right, let's bear down, see where I need to hold. We'll bring it down some. That's not it. I'll put some more ammo in this thing. That was all I was going to shoot. But now I'm accepting the challenge of figuring out where to hold on that thing. The buffalo, I mean, it's not a lot of body. It's not like the gong. And since it's an animal that's wider, again, here, listen to these excuses I'm making for my missing. I mean, really, the reason I do need to focus and have the right elevation hold, as you all know, if you have some bigger round targets, you have a little bit more margin of error. But on an animal, a buffalo, so I say you've got this wide, but you know, as far as the body, you got legs hanging down, but as far as the body, you don't have a lot of leeway. You know, if it's that far out, you know, if you're just a little high, then it's going to make a big difference. You know, with your sights, all that, and then too, you squeeze one off and you think you're holding, well, I thought I was holding right on his feet or wherever. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you're holding lower than that or higher than that. And so your scientific approach there, trying to figure out where to hold, gets kind of messed up. So that's why people bench rest. They're not just a redneck backyard shooter like me. All right, let's hit that thing. That hit it, sounded like it. Yeah. All right, well. Okay. Got a hold right close to the top of the back, looks like. Well, we got more ammo here. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, okay. So I was probably hitting low because I was holding a little low on most of those, I think. Yeah. All right. Got to figure it. Every Sunday I have to figure out where to hold, don't I? You know, well, there's a reason for that. Other than just low IQ, I typically will bring out a firearm I haven't shot for a little while. That's the whole nature of it, right? On Sunday video, I just shoot something I like to shoot, and I mean, I bring out some new things too I want to just try out. But firearm, it's usually because I haven't fired it for a while. Yeah, the very reason I don't remember where to hold it. You know, it's by nature of it. You know, if I'd been shooting this a few thousand rounds the last 2 weeks, then it wouldn't be an issue. But then again, I might not bring it out because I've been firing it a lot. You know, okay, nothing like logic, right? And at the gong the other day, I fired about 5 or 6 rounds. I didn't really get it out of my system. Didn't get it out of my system. So anyway, I don't really know. There's anything I forgot to tell you that was really, really important? I don't know. But I enjoy shooting, and again, this is kind of a contrast, I guess, today. You know, this old Marlin lever gun, 1894. These things go back into the 1890s. This design. Of course, this is a newer one, but you know, they're just like they used to make them. And just a wonderful rifle. Many of you know that, and you have some like it and would enjoy if you didn't. But then again, a good old polymer pistol, these things just work. They might be ugly to a lot of people, but they work. And a lot of people, you see a lot of comments about, well, that 1911 will be around in 200 years. Where's that Glock or that polymer pistol going to be? What kind of shape is it going to be in, and all that? Well, you know, I don't know, but polymer lasts a long time, doesn't it? Maybe longer than steel. You know, I mean, it could wear out, it could melt. I mean, there are things that, you know, might take it down, but I don't see any signs of polymer guns that I've had for 20 or 30 years wearing out. You know, the most of the contact parts are metal to metal, you know, and the polymer just lasts forever. That's what, ask an environmentalist. You know, that's the problem with plastic, right? And the landfills and everything, or in the ocean, it just never deteriorates for 50,000 years or something. So, you know, I don't know. What's going to happen to a Glock or a SIG frame or an FN frame? Is 30 years, is the polymer going to be softer? Is it going to melt? Is it going to lose its strength? I don't kind of think it's not, really. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an apologist for polymer guns, or I in a lot of ways prefer steel and wood, but I'm also very practical, and whatever the firearm is that fits the job the best, that will do the job, fit the situation the best, that's the one I like. But anyway, another subject, right? There's always another topic. So yeah, I see my phone line there. A reminder, I got to figure out that pairing problem, and before I pull my hair out, I really do. So I feel like I've got them on now. Well, I do. Yeah, let me grab those. I'll show you what I mean. I don't know why I brought them over here, just to frustrate myself. Oh, I know what I was thinking when I came over here. You know, I'm over on the Gong Club range, of course. I thought, well, let me get far away from my car and the house, and I'll do that before I go back. I'll see if it'll pair. I know it won't, but just in case there's some interference, and I may not be far enough away, about 100 yards or more from my car, house, and like I say, there's all this other stuff to pair with. and it's looking for something. I don't know what it is. And if when I bought these, if they never had paired, that would be an easy answer. Okay, there's just an issue or something with these new ones, but it was working for a while. Yeah, famous last words. It was working yesterday. Yeah, I don't know why my car won't start. And that's what people say, don't they? Well, it just started yesterday. Yeah, and that's going to be the case. Whenever it quits starting, it will have started the day before or the time before it quits starting, right? Or your tire, if it's flat. Well, it had air yesterday. It wasn't flat yesterday. Yeah, that's right. There's always a time when something worked just before it quit working, right? And so we all say dumb things like that, don't we? And we lose something. Well, I just had it a few hours ago, or I just used it yesterday. Yeah, aren't we funny? Aren't we funny? So anyway, I'll let you go. King of rambling, yeah, as usual. And I hope you have a great week. Appreciate your support, and coming out on these Sundays, not worrying about the ticks, not making fun of me for missing or shooting a dumb gun you don't like, or, whatever it is. So, and I think I forgot to thank, yeah, I did. I forgot to thank the people that support us with ammo. Yeah, our ammo sponsor, Widener's. Don't forget to check the description. That's every description on every video. Okay? It's got the name in there, Widener's, and it's got the discount code, Hickok45 and everything to save a little money. All right? So don't forget, we really do appreciate you supporting the people that support us, and we're really, really lucky. This folks that make our targets, gun fun targets, cool, print those up for us. Clarksville Gun and Archery that ship our guns in. This just came in. I picked it up there yesterday. So, just really appreciate the people that help us out. And who helps us the most is you folks. Are you folks. Anyway, you folks help us the most because you tune in, you come over here in the woods or wherever we're filming and risk getting all ticked up and watch your videos. So and again, remember, you got to come find us. I guess it's just an onslaught of people telling me that they get unsubscribed, they're not getting notified. So we post every 3-4 times a week, every Sunday, Tuesday, usually Thursday, if not Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday again. So we have kind of a schedule routine. So there is a new video there, a different video, whether you see it or not. Okay, and I'll tell you what, just for you who are not being notified and you're too lazy to come to the home channel to find it on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Sunday, we will leave it up there just for you. Okay, so you could come a day late to see the video, or a week late, right? Or maybe a year late, maybe 2 years late. Yeah, that's the thing about YouTube, isn't it? Or Rumble or whatever. The videos are up there. You can tune in anytime. So that's what's funny. I see comments every now and then, pretty often. Someone will say, good to see you again. Yeah, good to see you again. Good to see you back, or whatever it is. It's so weird. Like, I haven't been anywhere. Where have you been? Where have you been? I mean, it really, in most cases, it seems to imply that we've not been here doing videos. I think it falls into what I was talking about earlier, that they're just not getting notified, so they assume we're not doing a video, and for some random reason, they get notified on a video, Colt single action, 150th amp, or whatever it might be. It's, oh yeah, hey God, where you been? Yeah, glad to see you again. Well, they've been right here, So that's the way it is. So media, social media, yep, we're all trying to survive it, I guess, right? So I'm gonna let you go because I'm rambling more than I normally ramble, and that's a lot. Life is good.